Kicked out for false allegations by my twin, now my parents expect money after abandoning Maine for years. Growing up, I always felt like I was living in the shadow of my twin brother Alex. While I struggled to carve out my own identity, he effortlessly commanded attention with his charm and good looks. Our parents, particularly our father, doted on him, showering him with praise and attention, while I often felt like an afterthought. It didn't help that Alex was incredibly persuasive. He had a knack for twisting the truth to suit his needs, framing me as the villain in our family dynamics. This imbalance fostered a deep resentment within me, a feeling that my worth was constantly questioned, that I was somehow less than him. As children, our differences were subtle but significant. Alex thrived in the limelight, while I found solace in the shadows, immersing myself in books and art. I longed for my parents to notice my achievements, but they were always more interested in Alex's sports trophies or his latest social exploits. I remember one evening, after I'd scored high on a math test, waiting for my parents to acknowledge my success. Instead, they praised Alex for winning a small neighborhood soccer match. That was the norm, but the pain of being overlooked slowly morphed into a driving force for me. The tipping point came during our sophomore year in high school. It started with a trivial argument about a stolen item, a small video game console that I didn't even care about. In a moment of frustration, Alex spread a rumor that I had cheated him out of it. My life spiraled into chaos overnight. Classmates turned against me. Teachers looked at me with suspicion, and I became the target of relentless bullying. I could hear whispers in the hallways, "She's a cheat," and it cut me to the core. Instead of standing by me, my parents blindly believed Alex. "He's your brother, he wouldn't lie," my mother would often say, her faith in him unshakable. Things escalated further when, after weeks of emotional abuse, my parents finally kicked me out. They couldn't handle the stress of the situation, and I became the easy scapegoat. "If you can't behave like a proper daughter, you don't belong in this family," my father said coldly, packing my belongings into trash bags, as if I were nothing more than a burden. The heartbreak was immense. It felt like my entire existence was being dismissed. I was left with nothing but my pride and a deep desire to prove them wrong. I spent the next few years living with my grandmother, who became my pillar of strength. She was my rock, encouraging me to focus on my education and reminding me that my worth wasn't defined by my family's beliefs. "You're stronger than you think, and your future is bright," she often reminded me. Inspired by her wisdom, I threw myself into my studies, determined to escape the shadow of my brother. I graduated with honors and secured a scholarship to a prestigious university, which fueled my ambition and desire for independence. Fast forward 5 years, I was thriving in my career as a marketing consultant, building a solid reputation. I even started mentoring others, sharing my story to empower those facing similar struggles. My grandmother's unwavering support had helped me become someone I was proud of today. Life was good, but the emotional scars from my past still haunted me. I often revisited memories of betrayal and isolation, grappling with the complexities of forgiveness and healing. Then one day, out of the blue, I received a message from my parents. They wanted to reconnect, praising my accomplishments in a tone that felt too casual given our history. They mentioned their financial troubles and needed help with home repairs and renovations. I was stunned. After years of silence, they were reaching out for money? The audacity was infuriating. Did they really think I would forget how they had treated me? When I confronted them, my mother played the victim, crying about how hard their lives had been without me. "We've always been your family. You can't just abandon us because of a misunderstanding," she pleaded, her voice dripping with manipulation. My heart raced with anger and disbelief. They had abandoned me, and now they wanted me to feel guilty for their choices. In that moment, I decided to take a stand. I wasn't just going to help them out of pity, I wanted accountability. I agreed to assist them, but only if they publicly acknowledged the truth that my brother had fabricated the rumors that ruined my reputation. I demanded a public apology not just to me, but to everyone they had misled. My mother's response was predictable. She accused me of being vindictive, reminding me of their sacrifices for me. The irony stung deeply. They had sacrificed nothing, leaving me to fend for myself when I needed them the most. After weeks of hurtful texts and phone calls, I decided enough was enough. I wrote an email to my extended family, detailing my experiences, the favoritism, and the emotional abuse I had endured. I included the very messages from Alex, where he admitted to lying about me. It was time for the truth to be known, and I felt an overwhelming sense of relief as I hit send. I knew there would be backlash, but I was ready for it. The fallout was immediate. My family was shocked. Many reached out, apologizing for not recognizing my pain sooner. My cousin Sarah, who had always idolized Alex, was particularly affected. She expressed her disappointment in him, admitting she had been blinded by his charisma. "I can't believe I ever believed him over you," she texted, her words a mix of shame and support. However, my parents reacted with anger and defensiveness, attempting to guilt-trip me again. They accused me of tearing the family apart, of being the cause of their misery. In a surprising twist, their attempts to manipulate the situation only served to push more relatives toward my side. My aunt, who had once been a close ally to my parents, reached out to me. "I had no idea how much you suffered. I'm sorry I didn't see it before," she wrote, her message a balm to my wounded heart. This support emboldened me further, fueling my resolve to stand my ground. Feeling cornered, my parents hired a private investigator to dig into my life, hoping to uncover something that would discredit me. Instead, they found evidence of my success, including articles and testimonials praising my work. When this information surfaced, it fueled even more resentment within the family, as my parents were forced to confront the consequences of their actions. Their facade of being the perfect family began to crumble, and they were left exposed. I hired a lawyer to send them a cease and desist letter, which effectively halted their harassment. My grandmother, who had always stood by me, was proud of my courage and urged me to focus on my healing. Months passed, and I flourished both personally and professionally. I began speaking at seminars, sharing my journey, and inspiring others to break free from toxic relationships. Therapy helped me heal and process my past, allowing me to embrace my present fully. Finally, I had a life filled with love, support, and happiness. I often thought of my family but felt no desire to reconnect. I had learned that family isn't just blood. It's the people who support and uplift you, no matter the circumstances. I developed deeper connections with friends and colleagues who respected me for who I was, not who my family wanted me to be. As I reflected on my journey, I realized that being kicked out wasn't the end of me, it was the beginning of my true self. I had taken my pain and transformed it into empowerment, turning my struggles into a story of resilience. The hardest truths had finally come to light, and in doing so, I had forged a new identity, one filled with hope, purpose, and unshakable determination. In an unexpected turn of events, Alex reached out to me a year later, his tone a mixture of remorse and desperation. "I didn't realize how much I hurt you. I've changed. Can we talk?" he texted. Part of me wanted to believe him, but the scars of the past were still fresh. I chose to respond. "I appreciate your message, but trust takes time. Let's see where this goes." That conversation led to a series of awkward but necessary exchanges, pushing both of us toward personal growth. I learned that sometimes healing involves addressing past wounds, even if it's uncomfortable. Our relationship remained fragile, but it was a start. And so, I continued to build my life, embracing the journey of self-discovery and empowerment, knowing that the future was mine to shape. And that's how I learned that sometimes the most difficult paths lead to the brightest futures. I had reclaimed my life, and in doing so, I discovered that the power to define my narrative was always within me. The scars of the past would never fully fade, but they became a testament to my strength and growth, guiding me toward a future filled with possibility. I think this will be the last update for now.